Let me just go onto my own page. Let me just go onto my own page.
Oh wow, we just got an update on it about a minute ago.
Yeah, there we did. It's very hard to change it. Anyway, I don't think the music's gonna work. Anyway, hello everybody. Oh, the music is working. Oh, beautiful. Oh. So, anyway,
Oh wow, we just got an update
hi
on it
everybody.
about
The
a minute ago.
world is ending. Thank you for joining me now. Actually, Tiger Star, introduce yourself. I'm listening to both
I'm
streams.
Emperor Tiger Star. I'm the map guy.
I'm listening to two different like audios at the same time. I think we're good now. We're good. Hello everyone. Welcome to So There Are Happenings live stream. Me and Tiger Star were talking a few days ago, and we were like, "So that's some stuff that's going down in Russia." And I was like, "Yes, it is." And he said, "Maybe we should discuss it and have a nice little apocalyptic party going on." I said,
Can,
"Yeah."
can we just we just have to start with the fact that this thumbnail is the greatest thumbnail ever devised.
It's a good summarization of the entire events going on right now.
Where did you even get the meme reporter bloody eyes
Uh,
face thing?
where every great thing is made, 4chan. So that's
That
what's
explains the fire.
yeah. There you go, and the music and everything. So, um, anyway, no, this I don't act. So even though there's this whole aesthetic of World War III, the I think the point of this live stream is to basically discuss this rationally and how, in almost a depressing fashion, there won't be World War III. There's actually worse implications for this whole Russia taking parts of Ukraine scenario. And
The depressing implications of no World War III.
act almost and it's kind of like you gotta sit back and kind of applaud Putin a little bit because he did something that nobody in 70 years actually has done. And I know the Hitler card is played a lot, but really this is the first time that somebody has played with the world's fears of another war, except now it's in the nuclear age. And there's only a few countries that can really get away with what they want, and all they need is nukes. And I think Russia is now starting to experiment with how tolerant everyone will be of their bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah. So let's get into this whole scenario. If you are confused, so it was last week. I actually first heard about the whole thing through Tiger Star and Twitter. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So if something does go down, it'll all be because I found out from Tiger Star.
Yeah.
Russia basically blocked off the sea and the Sea of Azaz, uh,
Azov.
of Azov. Yeah. Sorry, it's either one.
Whichever.
They captured three Ukrainian ships and detained all of the sailors. Um, there were reports of a gunfight and even helicopters too. There was actually leaked uh, audio of helicopters swarming the ships. So that started this whole crisis. Um, Now, Russia was arguing that Ukraine was in those waters illegally, and that and everyone else is arguing, rightfully, these are international waters, and you signed an agreement with Ukraine. Even if these were your waters, they still had the right to be in there, and this was completely an out of the line act of provocation. And Russia was kind of like, okay, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, uh, and moving forward, it actually escalates even more. Russia cuts off the entire sea. It's now like they're in an unofficial blockade. And if you don't know anything,
Which is the first act for war, technically.
which is, yes, it is a complete act of war. And so now they're doing it very subtly, which kind of seems like how Russia is going to do this whole thing. They're probably not going to do an actual full-scale declaration. I don't think they're in that situation that they need to. I think they'll just do what they've been doing for the last 4 years, and things will just arrive, and people will report on it. But going forward, if you don't know the Sea of Azov, it is an important port for eastern Ukraine, and by Russia basically owning that it's the sea, they can basically control the supplies coming in to areas like Donetsk and Odessa, and those areas that the little green men just so happen to control. So this is a good sign that Russia either wants Ukraine to do something about it, or Russia is planning something greater. So, Tiger Star, I heard there were reports that both sides actually are moving tanks to the border. Some people were saying that this was bullshit because Russia actually already had tanks at the border. So really, Ukraine was the one bringing tanks too. So things are escalating, no matter
Yeah.
what. And what was it? Today, actually, I just saw Putin.
Like they're boosting security at like ports and power plants. And then yesterday they banned anyone who was Russian between the ages, it was like 15 and 60 from entering their country or whatever.
16 to 60, I think.
Yeah.
So that was, so yeah, things are certainly escalating, and Putin today said that there's like a chance. I have to look it up again because I just saw it. A chance of annexing parts of Ukraine, and I think he just like blatantly said it.
I guarantee
the Kremlin hinted the possibility of invading Ukraine, and this was from just a wire. So take that as you will.
I guarantee you by the time this thing is over, those little separatist areas that have been fighting in eastern Ukraine that have had Russian troops essentially this entire time, those areas are going to be Russian by the end of this whole thing.
Oh yeah, like this is I'm trying to get my stream back.
And you see, kiddos, I'm such a nerd that in spite of all the destruction and the potential for World War III, I'm most excited for changing the maps in my room.
He was excited about it, not even joking.
Yeah.
He was telling me about the exchange of a mountain between Finland and Norway that didn't happen. He was sad. So
yeah, I know. That would have been a nice gift.
You know, who cares about the economic or the lives destroyed as long as that map gets to change for Tiger Star? It's good.
Exactly. And the sad thing is, in retrospect, Crimea was relatively boring because the peninsula between Crimea and Ukraine is so small on most maps you wouldn't notice it anyway.
Oh yeah. This is what I'm starting to think. I think that Russia is going to use all of the areas that have been declared martial law as an excuse to intervene. And they're basically going to say that
I'm sure it will be.
Oh yeah, and I'm just saying this for the people, is that the way that Putin has been doing this traditionally is the Russians are oppressed by the fascist Ukrainians, and that's what they say, and they'll use this martial law as an excuse to liberate the Russian minority in these areas, and Really, that's not even a theory. That's something that they've said. They said that declaring martial law is in itself a provocation and a fascist move, which is the equivalent of saying, "Hey, don't prepare to invade, or we'll invade you," which is just brilliant. So now the obvious, this is very similar to an event that happened 70 years ago, isn't it, Tiger Star? Oh boy.
Oh, indeed.
Oh boy. And people are. It's almost like you can now just put yourself in their shoes. And it is a conundrum. Like, people say appeasement's a horrible thing. And it is a horrible thing. But I think it's one of those realities when you're stuck with. It's one of those things in international relations is what happens when you're stuck with somebody who is not going to play by the rules.
Yeah.
And obviously the situation always becomes war. But now we're in an age that it's not just tanks and bombs and stuff like that. It's nukes. So what happens when a nuclear power decides to do what they want? And Russia has nothing else. Russia is backwards. Russia is smaller economically than a single U.S. state. It is not the USSR that it was 20 years ago, and Putin knows that. And,
which is why he's probably trying to build it up.
Oh, yeah. And people say, oh, why does Putin want Eastern Ukraine? Why did Germany want a two-front war? Why did Germany want to expand? And it's because if you expand, one, you're building your influence. Putin has already said, and this has been his ideals ever since the USSR collapsed, and he wanted to reunite that territory. And I doubt he will go and try to take the Baltics, because that would be suicide. But Ukraine is in that precarious situation where it probably would go to NATO or the EU in 10 years,
Yeah.
and Putin knows it. So this is the perfect time to act. Say what you will about Trump, but Trump certainly is Russia friendly. And so, just because I don't want the comment section to go to hell, but
It's too late.
he's certainly lenient. And it's not even just Trump, it's also Europe too. Because, Europe.
Energy dependency.
Europe is energy dependent, and obviously they're not going to want a war around their borders. Merkel and France have basically stepped down. Putin basically called their bluff. And we're now in a situation that there are so few people talking about this. I actually think I saw more of the international community talking about the whole border, the whole Tijuana border thing, than with Russia, because it's an uncomfortable situation. It's like you see a bully who's much bigger and stronger than you beating the shit out of a kid. Like, if you go fucking try to fight it, everyone's gonna die or something like that. I don't know where that analogy went. But it's.
Well, it was weird because, when I saw it, I originally saw it because someone I followed retweeted some sort of correspondence from some random European paper that was in Ukraine. And then when I went to look it up myself as it was developing, The Guardian talked about it, the BBC talked about it,
Oh yeah,
Reuters talked about it, all of the.
About it.
Well, no. What I'm getting at is the European news websites and papers, all that stuff. They talked about it nonstop.
Yeah.
But for most of it, I never saw a peep from CNN, Fox, ABC, any of the North American newspapers.
Yeah, honestly, I still haven't. I think that either it's stuff shitting on Trump, or it's stuff defending Trump. But either way, it's the media is basically ignoring what is essentially a repeat of Czechoslovakia. They're basically this is an actual historic moment. This is something that will escalate, and the American media is so far up their ass that nobody knows about it. And if you were watching CNN or Fox News, the only thing on your mind would be the stupid border thing, and you won't even know about the actual invasion that's happening right around the world. So, I mean, I guess we come into now the fun part of the happenings. What happens next? What is going to be the timeline for all of this stuff? Because it already seems like Russia is escalating this so far. I think that we're going to see some sort of conflict within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think that this is going to be a around Christmas thing that the Russians are trying. And even if that, it's certainly going to be within the next 1 or 2 months, because,
Oh yeah.
like you said, Europe is energy dependent on Russia. For those that don't know, a pipeline, Russia basically supplies Europe their pipeline of natural gas, which is how you heat your homes and showers and live your life in Europe during the winter. So Europe can't afford to speak out against Russia because they can just cut that off. And that's kind of the issue.
Go green, folks.
Yeah,
Go green to defeat the Ruskies.
actually, yeah. And so I was telling you, we should go green, and it's not even about the environment or some shit. It's about becoming dependent and almost an island economically and energy wise. And you don't have to deal with this. You don't have to play that into your politics. I mean, obviously, Russia still has nukes, but and that's,
What are they gonna do?
And that's the
Nuke
thing.
the sun?
That's the thing, is that even though as much as people talk about, oh, we need to do something, the only thing you can do is sanctions. But what happens when they stop caring about sanctions? And people say, oh, well, they'll get destroyed economically by sanctions. Well, I don't think sanctions are going to balance out the immense patriotism and nationalism that Putin's going to give Russians when they reclaim so much territory. And this is a political boost for Putin. That's why he's doing this.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you also have a Ukrainian president who most certainly will lose the election. And it's weird. I know I don't want to sound like a Russian shill, but there is a reason why the Ukrainian president he's been motivated in a little bit of a way. So we now have 2 leaders who are in a precarious situation, and the best solution for them is a glorious war.
Well, we're doomed.
It's not fucking 1940. It's 2018, and we have both leaders, both Slavic nations, who are willing to start a war over this. I guess this says when this happens, we'll see. But I guess if you need to, mostly just watch, go onto Reddit, go into 4chan. Those are usually the best sources. War Monitor is always a good Twitter page that I follow, and DEF CON is also good. But yeah, I think that's really the best we can say about this, is that shit is actually going down, and nobody's talking about it except for the international. Well, no Americans are talking about it. They're very, very quiet, and it's annoying as hell. Why is this country so far up his ass? It's like, oh my god, it pisses me off. I tell people, even honestly, my close friends wouldn't even know about this if I didn't tell them. And it's like, nobody knows. And it's gonna catch them all off guard when the news comes out of Russia invading Ukraine.
Be a real open mouth.
Yeah. And, yep. So anyway, I guess we could move on to updates, and then, we wanted to do this for around 30 minutes, and then we just, wrap it up. So, sound good for you, Tiger Star?
Sounds good to me.
Alright, cool. So, updates. I'm guessing this is the first time Actually, yeah, this is the first time in like a month all of you have heard my voice. Um, so I think I have a reason to say why it's been so long since the last video. If you follow me on Twitter, you would know. But I actually got very sick. Um, it started around Halloween. It was a few days before Halloween, and I must have ate something, and I think I got salmonella poisoning. But it was so
Yeah.
bad. I had a high fever. I was vomiting. I actually couldn't eat properly for 2 weeks, and I lost about 15 pounds. Um, which, I feel thinner, but because of that, I got a sore throat. I still have a little bit of a cough right now, but I had such a sore throat, I ended up getting a bacterial infection, and my voice ended up sounding like a 40-year-old smoker. It actually, every time I would talk, I basically sounded like this, and my friend said I sound like a Jewish grandmother, and so I was like, "Well, what are you doing? I can't believe you." And yeah, so anyway, my voice was not ready for editing in any way, and I basically waited for a month, an entire month. I could not speak, and I was actually worried I didn't have my voice back anymore. I went to the doctor. I got antibiotics. My fiance scolded me for not going to the doctor earlier, so yeah, I guess she was right. And I ended up being on that for a week, and my voice slowly came back. And just last week, it finally went back to its regular way, and I was able to record the audio for this video on Monday. so this video is gonna come out a month after part 2. People are gonna think it's gonna be this like super edited crazy thing, which it's very, it's the quality of part 1. But the only reason this video took so long to make is because I just started editing it this week. And it's sad. That's sad. It completely threw my entire schedule out of balance. And I had planned to do part 2 and part 3 by now. We would have been wrapping up the series, and then we would have been moving on to another thing for December. But it basically was like, you lose a month of everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway, I'll just say one more thing about the book, and then Tiger Star, you can say whatever. You can talk about your updates, and we can talk about the updates on the podcast, live stream. So in terms of the book, if you don't know, the Lantropa articles came out, and I heard it's actually selling really well.
Cody's a millionaire now.
Oh, we're in the money. Oh, we're in the money. No. It's selling pretty well. Thank you everyone for your support. That is fantastic. And it actually
I've almost finished 3 whole chapters.
Thank you, Tiger Star. What do you think of the 3 chapters?
A lot of it is what you had me edit.
Shit, you're right. Yeah, I did do that. I forgot who I showed the original drafts to.
Yeah, Cody's like, "Hey, Tiger Star, what do you think?" And literally all I
the-
did with the first edit was just add like 30 commas.
Oh,
He's like, "No, I meant like the characters and stuff." Oh, well, never mind then.
Oh yeah, I was scared. I was like, because it was my first book. It's my first book. I was like, oh, is this good? Who knows? But anyway, no. I can actually say. I mean, I guess the only way to say it is through a live stream. But the publisher wants a sequel. So if you wanted the world fleshed out more, well, oh boy, there is going to be a sequel to this world on the way in the next year or so, and get ready for that. Oh boy, yeah.
20 book anthology.
We're gonna go full turtle dove on this. No, nobody goes full turtle dove.
Can we make turtle dove a meme, or not a meme, a verb? I'm gonna turtle dove this book series.
I'm gonna go full turtle dove. It's gonna be endless chapters of just one detail. Um, it's
30 main characters.
none of them developed. It's gonna be great. So yeah, that is that's updates on my. Oh wait, shit! I forgot. I'm stupid. The fucking video. Uh, video's gonna be out next week. It was supposed to be out this week, but I've had personal stuff, family stuff, fiance stuff, and it just distracted. But I should have it edited by tomorrow, and it should be out by around Monday. So there you go. And then we'll be back on a regular schedule. It won't be this month-long hiatus shit. So congrats. Anyway, Tiger Star, what's up for you updates, and then we can wrap this up, my guy.
A few weeks ago, I had my Civil War video. That was fun.
Did that go well?
Other than that, I don't really have any major updates. I never went away or anything.
Oh, are you telling me you had a consistent schedule?
Yes.
Damn, way to throw it in my face. Sorry,
You're welcome.
sorry. Your vocal cords were working, Tiger Star. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I actually, believe it or not, last year, I did go through a little sick thing. A bunch of idiots who I guess decided not to get vaccines ended up getting me sick, and that definitely affected my vocal cords for like a week.
Wow.
But that was like a year ago.
Did you thank Jenny McCarty for fucking over an entire generation?
I burned an image in effigy.
That works. That actually that does the opposite though. That actually harnesses her. She feeds on its power and then she appears. That's
Dang.
But anyway, live stream updates.
We haven't had a podcast because it seems like the three of us can never be in the same room at the same time.
Actually, no, it is directly my fault. Because you guys are up for the podcast, but then I don't do it. Reason I don't ever do the podcast is because my schedule is so horrible. It feels wrong to do the podcast while a video is still not out, and I know people would be mad at it. Which, considering how people are reacting here, they don't seem that mad. So I guess that was a dumb.
They will always find a reason to be mad.
Yeah. People are actually reacting relatively alright here, so I guess it's not too bad of a fear. But also it was yeah, really that was it. Like, if I just didn't have a video out, we just really wouldn't do the podcast. Somebody said that Tristan said that we ended the podcast because I was Islamophobic, but I think he was just a troll. I don't know. I haven't talked to Tristan about this. So who knows? Maybe, hopefully Tristan is still on the podcast. I don't know what he's doing. I haven't talked to him in a while. So, yeah, but podcast will continue, either with all three of us or with me and Tiger Star. The shenanigans will happen. I don't even know if it'll be a podcast. It'll probably just be a live stream. Like, we don't really need a podcast. You know, a live stream, I think, is more effective. Podcast.
I mean, especially considering, like, for a podcast, we aren't on any podcast websites or apps, and like we only have like 3 of them backlogged on another channel.
And also, it seems like a lot more channels are just live streaming. Like, you don't really need to have a podcast. You just live stream. If people want to join, they do.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, we are
Fireside Rants with Cody.
I actually like this. This is actually more of a chill environment than a standard podcast. Just talk about a topic and then leave. That's all we do.
Yes.
But anyway,
argue on Twitter, then act really civilized on the podcast, leaving everyone confused.
Actually, the funny thing was that was actually a debate that ended in a resolution.
Yeah.
It was you argued that they should have been better equipped, and I agreed. And then I said that for the situation that they were equipped with, they handled it all right. So yeah.
See, what most people don't realize is Cody and I argue all the time, but like, we never get triggered by it. We just have fun.
That's our dynamic. We're both kind of assholes who like to debate, and then we debate each other, and then it's
Yes.
and then it nobody goes away unharmed. Sometimes I debate people like I debate you, and they actually get offended, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm like, oh, I didn't turn it off. It's like, oh shit, people can't be as emotionless about these things. They don't have the. It's like CGP Grey said, you have your opinions and you put your opinions in a box, and you can switch the opinions out at will. But it's like,
Yes.
people cling on to their opinions like it's their personality. Anyway.
Like every single time, like if we do like argue about something, I'll get like a either like a DM or an ad on Discord or like something on Twitter, like, are like you and Cody like not friends anymore? What? Why? What made you think that? Like you disagreed about something. And
Yeah, like we don't have. I forgot what it was. My fiance, during the whole Trump thing, she had a cousin, and the cousin, like cut off. What the? Why is the chat going F? Oh, F because Bush. But they cut up. She cut off connection with her because of the whole shit was going down in the election, and it's like, why would you sabotage a relationship because of politics? That's just dumb. So anyway, I think we should get to the super chats, and we'll just answer a few of those things, and then we can wrap it up. Call it a day.
sounds good.
All right. So Robin Hilliker, thank you for your contribution. He says, "Let's get ready for Cold War II Electric Boogaloo." Damn,
Yes.
damn right. Actually, I don't even think it's Cold War II. I think it's more like proxy World War III, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like proxy wars are a part of the Cold War, and especially with all of like the Russophobia that's been going on in the United States. I mean, it's certainly a Cold War mindset.
yeah, everyone does hate the Russo brothers for not releasing the Avengers 4 trailer, so I get that.
Absolutely.
Army Man says, rip George Homework Bush. Yeah, man, it's like he's 94, so it's not like it's unexpected. But
George Lee Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, Spider-Man.
yeah,
Rip.
God, this has been an eventful week. It's like so much shit that's happened, and you can't even. I didn't comment on Steven Hillenburg's death because that seemed like something more like Psychic Pebbles or like the actual cartoonist would do, and I already tweet enough random shit.
What Cody is saying is that he never had a childhood.
No, well, SpongeBob was actually one of the most. I mean, I think that's for anybody. SpongeBob is just that thing. Like, if you were a kid in the same age group as us, you watched SpongeBob, and shit. I was talking to somebody and I said, there really is nothing like SpongeBob, because even as our generation grew up, we became cynics, or we split into all these different groups and political ideologies. There's one thing that everyone can kind of still joke about, and it's references to those first 3 seasons of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob was like memes before the internet caught on to memes.
Oh, yeah. SpongeBob honestly shaped modern internet culture. It was that balance of cynicism and randomness that sort of created almost the humor for a generation. And
I don't know if you saw it, but there was like a petition going around demanding that during the Super Bowl halftime show they play the Sweet Victory song.
they should. That's
They should.
oh, I'll move my why are they saying F in the chat? What is this?
Because we're talking about Steven Hillenburg.
Oh, shit. Every time they say F, it's always because the stream dies. So yes, F.
The only problem, though, if they do play Sweet Victory at the Super Bowl artist is Maroon 5 for some reason, and I don't even know if Adam Levine can pull it off.
That'd be an abomination.
But hey, A for effort. They could have picked any artist from the Atlanta area.
Bring Squidward.
They could have done a miracle and reunited Outcast, but nah, let's go with Maroon 5.
God, that's sad.
It really is.
Yeah, so that was definitely, he was definitely the most, probably biggest influence on any fucking kid's life who grew up in the 2000s. But we need to go a little bit quicker. Oscar Hansen, do you remember me? Hashtag Justice for Denmark. Yes, I'm still salty about the Hearts of Iron 4 stream. Yes, I do remember you. I'm sorry about Denmark. I don't even remember. I remember we stopped playing Denmark or something, or we like, we did something with Denmark.
No, it's like I was playing Denmark and then like I lost and then like I had to switch between like 2 or 3 other countries or something like that.
Oh yeah, because it just wasn't working. Dark Magic, lots of 0s and 7s says, "Hey Cody, I hope you're better after being sick." I am. Thank you. I'm still coughing a little bit, which is why I've been coughing. Even when I talk about coughing, I cough. But I'm better. So, Diego Flores says, "When can we expect Putin to proclaim himself as the new czar?" On Monday. That's my random...
would be fascinating.
That would be He's the new Romanovs. Except the Putins.
The like whatever the Orthodox equivalent of the Pope is, like he just gets ready to crown him and he just pulls nipple and goes, "No, I czar now," and just puts the crown on.
Man, I'm not even Orthodox.
Except instead of like a painting, it would be like an internet meme that would forever cement that moment in history.
Whatever the Orthodox equivalent of a Pope is.
Well, they have one.
They have a patriarch. Yeah, well, it's the patriarch.
It's like it's like Bartholomew the First or something like that.
Yeah, he's not. Well, there's the patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church, and then there's the Greek Orthodox.
Well, no, like those are all connected. Like
yeah,
I actually didn't learn this until a month ago, but it's kind of like the equivalent of like a diocese. But the patriarch of the Constantinople branch is also essentially the Pope over all of the Eastern Orthodox churches.
Yeah, it's basically Pope, but without the I guess fancy title and the whole rules that come with it. So.
This is interesting. I looked it up. So the Pope is called His Holiness, but Bartholomew the First is called His All Holiness.
Wow. Gotta just add that extra bit. Gotta one up. Army Man says, Russia, why can't you just be normal and nukes Ukraine? Tree Shaker Tucker says, we're all going to die. We're not going to die. Centurion David, thank you for your contribution. David Graffiti, man, I'm gonna butcher Italian, but if anybody knows what this says, let me know. Ciao del Italia Bellazio. Ciao del Italia Bellazio. I think it says hi from Italy. And then Bellazio. So, somebody Google translate that. Thank you for your contribution. Matthew Miller, Putin is a madman, but he's very smart with that. By the way, please put the chat into slow mode so we have better discussion. Yeah, shit, I should have done that. Sorry, everyone. I thought, how do you put the... I should have done that.
I mean, it's kind of too late now.
Yeah, we're at the end. Okay, next time we'll put it in slow mode. Dashing Rogue, Putin wishes to expand the Eurasian Economic Union, aka Soviet Union, without communism. Yeah, he's pretty much, that's pretty much what he's doing. He's doing the same thing that Russia has really always done, and putting as much space between them and everyone else as possible. And it makes complete sense why they would invade Ukraine and try to prevent it from turning us. And honestly, it'd almost be, it'd be crazy if they went after Kiev, if they actually invaded all of Ukraine.
Nah.
but it's like, who's gonna stop them? It's like, that's not... They could just walk in, and yeah, there'd be sanctions and stuff, but they'd secure and they'd
I think they're
basically...
only going to take like the areas that have like a high Russian population.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking in like 10 years when the rest of Ukraine becomes NATO.
The rest of Ukraine joins NATO.
Or joins the EU. I mean,
They renamed themselves the rest of Ukraine.
The rest of Ukraine.
The Crane that's left over.
The Kievan Ukraine. That'd be a cool name.
West Crane and East Crane.
Our Crane.
And then Russia just goes, Lukashenko, you're a loser, and they take Belarus.
George Goldman says, I have relatives in Ukraine. This is a provocation by the Poroshenko government, and they have just declared martial law before elections. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not saying... I think I just said that. Like, Poroshenko is not innocent in any of this. He is a politician taking advantage of a bad situation, and that's the scary thing, is that when you have two politicians who are basically fighting for their own careers, because Putin is also in his own precarious situation because of that whole retirement shit. That
I am shocked, underlined, shocked that Russia would dare act aggressive towards its neighbor.
Shocked Pikachu.jpg. Dream of Sky. Peter Zahan predicted this in both his books, The Accidental Superpower and Absent Superpower. This will not start World War III. This isn't about... the title is a meme. It's not... We don't actually think World War III is happening.
We just had to show off the screaming, bloody-faced reporter.
And we like the "so there are happenings" thing, too. And it's like, what can you call it other than World War III? Russia invading? Like, that's not interesting. Call it World War III. It's fun. So yeah, we clickbaited. What are you gonna do about it? Anthony Marlott says, Russia built a bridge over the strait, right? I wonder what the specs of that bridge are with load. They actually got condemned for building that bridge, and they're still doing it, and that's like one of their...
I thought they finished.
They did finish. It's like a super vital bridge to Crimea. George Goldman says, NATO agreed not to extend to the east in the early 90s. Okay, well, even if NATO did, still EU, which is what EU very much... Like, that was the entire thing in 2014, is Ukraine flirted with joining the EU, and then Russia fucking came in. Internet user, nukes only, thanks for that. Imperial Capital, Cody summed up America's issue in a few sentences. We really need to go through the super chat before doing
Yes, we do.
Oh my god, there's so many. Alright, I'm just gonna give a shout out to everybody who did the super chat. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, Jaeger Bomb, Some Guy, Ignatius Travis, Soldier Guy Gets 14, Mega Killer X, The Dashing Rogue. Background music is from It's Always Sunny. It's called Off Broadway. Egret again, Dead Alien Gaming. He says, huge inspiration. You inspired me to make my own story. Waiting for your book in the mail. Can't wait to read. I'm surprised it took this long for the book to get to people. Actually, it's been a while. But thank you.
Well, you were able to pre-order it before it actually went on the show.
But I was just thinking, like, they didn't. It probably should have. I don't know why it hasn't sent to everyone by now. Admiral Anger, thank you. Corey Roma, Brett Ross, Gurjira, and Zenron. Yo to you too. And I guess that's it. The new video will be out within the next few days, and we will get back to our schedule by the holidays. And well,
what was that?
It was some snapping. Oh boy, snapping and some smooth jazz. You don't like it? You don't like it, Tiger Star? Make you uncomfortable?
So embarrassing.
Oh, I can't believe this. Oh. So anyway, there are happenings, and they're occurring, and if we don't die, we'll see you next time. This is Cody.
I'm Emperor Tiger Star.
Oh.